A blessed day, Grateful Gab family. Welcome into the Grateful Gab podcast. About to get directly into the daily verse before I come at you with Wellness Wednesday for today. Daily verse for the day of July 10th, 2024. Derives from the book of, one moment, First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8, and it states as follows. But as for us who belong to the day, let us keep our senses and put on the breastplate of faith and love and the hope of salvation as a helmet. Amen. And again, that's from the book of First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 8. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, for Wellness Wednesday, I'm getting this information from ecoonline.com. Again, ecoonline.com. And I'm going to be going over a article. It's titled what is an ecological footprint? And this actually was brought to my attention during Bible study on Monday, and how basically we all have a part in the ecological footprint. You know, we want to be able to have the least amount of evidence on a trail. You know what I mean? If you could say it that way. You know, we wanna all have the smallest amount of impact or our personal responsibility in what we do and how we use nature to survive, and how, you know, and we're gonna learn. So let's get into it. And again, I'm getting this information from ecoonline.com, and this is what is an ecological footprint. So, the ecological footprint is a method that determines how dependent humans are on natural resources. So again, it's a method that calculates our dependency on humans' nature, basically, you know, what we get from it. So it is a measure that indicates how much resources from the environment are required to support a specific way of life or business. So again, how we live in our life personally to impact the economy or the environment. It says, in simpler words, the ecological footprint simply indicates the amount of pressure that humans put on the natural resources available to them and their surroundings. The ecological footprint is generally expressed in global hectares and allows professionals to determine the land area required by each human to sufficiently meet their needs. Think of it as demand required by humans and the supply offered by nature. The ecological footprint is used commonly to calculate substantiability of an entity such as a region, an individual, or a business. Ecological footprint can also be expressed as the amount of resources consumed. This idea was first introduced in 1922 by William Rees. The idea of calculating ecological footprints is designed to evaluate the environmental impact of activities conducted by humans. So, again, you know, what are we doing in the ocean? What are we doing in the forest? You know, all these type of places. The gentleman, the brother who was giving a talk on Monday, he gave an example about when we say Amazon, what is the first thing that pops up in our mind? Is it the package that we just got delivered, or is it the Amazonian forest, the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest? You know, so we have to you know, keep nature and keep our world into consideration, and how we are, you know, what is our personal impact? You know, what are we doing to you know, personally make the world better, or what is our footprint, and what are we doing? And if we're doing things to harm the earth, what are we going to do to change it? Let's continue reading. It says the importance of ecological footprint. The ecological footprint is an accounting measure that evaluates the demand and supply of nature. To determine demand, The footprint tallies all the productive elements for which populations usually compete. This includes all biological and ecological assets that a functioning population will require to produce natural resources for sustenance. So again, this can include livestock and fish, timber or other wood products, which goes into houses, things of that nature, plant-based foods, and space for building infrastructure, which I don't think space is a problem because the land is huge, Earth is huge, and there's so much land that's not being used that, but people constantly, especially in these metropolitan areas, they want to constantly, you know, build on top of one another, build, and people think the world isn't big enough for billions and billions of people when there's already billions of people living in the world, and there's still so much more space for people. So I don't really think space is a problem, but finding out where you want to be able to build and if you can build in that space probably is more of a difficult issue. The ecological footprint can be calculated for regions, countries, cities, individuals, businesses, and as a whole of an entire planet. So this is all of us. We all go into this calculation, this equation, the whole planet. It says on a personal level, the ecological footprint determines how much you consume. So how often are we, going to get groceries, or if we grow our own produce, is that what we're consuming? That we're not leaving that footprint from the store. We're not buying as many plastic wrapped packages or something like that. We go to Whole Food markets, or we go to butchers, or any of these type of things. It says the ecological footprint plays a very important role in helping organizations and nations determine how much productive land is available to them. So that gives a area of people. If you're in a smaller rural area, your town might say, "Hey, how much area do we have to this year to grow crops?" Or maybe we want to bring something that's entertaining to the city or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? So everything is calculated. I've definitely seen that. What I've noticed in my time of living, humans will try to come up with anything to make a situation better, and we've made strides in different places, but there's so many things that we cannot make better that we still try to, and we can only leave it up to God, and we have to do that. And but I still think it's a good step of us recognizing our faults and trying to do things we can to do to make it better, to switch it, to change things. So ecological footprint compared with carbon footprint. So carbon footprint is the activity of the CO2 that's measured. Okay, so it says even though the ecological footprint and the carbon footprint are ways of measuring environmental impact, they are slightly different. The latter measures the total greenhouse gas emissions caused by an activity or an entity. Again, vehicles, what type of vehicles we are using, the vehicles for farming, the vehicles we use for building. So many of these powerful big engine diesel vehicles. That goes to a lot of things, litter. So many different things affect our ozone layer, but the carbon footprint is a big factor in that. So it says, for instance, the carbon footprint of burning fossil fuels can help those in charge determine the adverse impact on the environment, making it easier for them to take measures to offset or reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So those are definitely big. The big fossil fuel areas where they consume so much natural resources to burn off to create fuel and things of that nature. So again, make sure y'all come check out this article, ecoonline.com. I will have the link to the article. Make sure you come check it out. They have like the math equation. They have basically the things that are calculated in the whole formula to 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 get the whole makeup of our footprint. So again, make sure y'all come check that out. And again, appreciate y'all tuning in. This is something I am looking forward to do as we continue to go forth. Be available via video and audio. Again, first time here doing this in a long time, but with this platform that I'm currently on with Riverside. So shout out to Riverside and being able to bring Grateful Gab Studio to the visual side of the podcast. Super, super excited. Be on the lookout for some new things that's on the way. I do have some merchandise. I don't have it. I have it with me right now, but I didn't bring it to the video. But just be on the lookout for again merchandise as we continue to go forward, go further. Shout out to Sugarcane Sweets for sponsoring and purchasing equipment for Grateful Gab. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. She's it's my wife, but her business supported me, and I'm looking forward to being able to support her. So be on the lookout again for Sugarcane Sweets. She's a baker. I'm looking forward to it. There's gonna be some delicious foods coming, and again appreciate her support for her business, supporting my business already. And y'all be blessed. Have a great today. Again, check out the website for yourself, ecoonline.com, and think about what is our personal ecological footprint. What are we doing personally in our lives to help the world? Water consumption, our electrical consumption, our anything that we do. Again, our vehicles up to date to make sure we're passing emissions, and we're doing all the little things to make sure we are trying to help the earth out as much as possible. Okay, but I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Have a blessed today, and as always, give God glory for today. And until next time, peace.